the 2017 Ford Mustang EcoBoost. So this is the Mustang I've been wanting to do an unboxing review of for a while. A number of you have been sending me requests to do it, and I finally got around to it. I'm Jay, and welcome to CarBuzz Unboxing Reviews. Yes, I have for you the EcoBoost powered version of the famous Mustang. Now, it is powered by a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine as opposed to a naturally aspirated V6 or V8. So what I want to know is whether or not this is a real quote-unquote Mustang. And I also want to thank Walnut Creek Ford for letting CarBuzz come on down and film today. Alright, so let's talk about this here. Now, this is obviously the 6th generation Mustang. It launched back in 2015, and the big deal about the EcoBoost Mustang is that it is the first Mustang that Ford has offered since 1984. In fact, it was only from 1984 to 1986 with the Mustang SVO when Ford offered a turbocharged Mustang, and well, the Mustang SVO it really didn't work out because people really didn't care. Gas prices eventually went down, and people want pony cars with V8 or even naturally aspirated V6 power. But I think Ford really got it right this time. Basically, because of global fuel economy regulations growing more stringent over time, Ford realized it had to do something big and bold, and it already had its EcoBoost engine program very much in development. You're seeing those EcoBoost engines powering everything from the Ford Focus to the Ford Expedition. So this is the engine of the future for Ford. But let's give it a listen here, and I'll tell you more about it in a moment. Alright, so that is a turbocharged 2.3 liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost engine with 310 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque. Power goes to the rear wheels through a 6-speed automatic transmission. The 6-speed automatic is actually optional, costs an extra $1,195. Obviously, the standard transmission is a 6-speed manual, but a lot of people are just preferring automatics these days. This has paddle shifters. It just appeals to more people. And that was a big thing with the 6th generation Mustang. Ford was looking for maximum appeal. Not everybody wants the 5-liter GT Mustang. It's just not for everyone. But this 2.3-liter turbocharged EcoBoost, I really think Ford has struck gold here, and the sales numbers are proving it. And just looking at this exterior design here, this is ruby red metallic paint, $395 extra. It also has these 19-inch ebony black painted aluminum wheels. 18-inch wheels are standard. You can even get up to 20-inch optional wheels too. But these ebony black wheels are part of the EcoBoost performance package. You also have a dual exhaust system here, automatic headlights, LED fog lamps, LED taillights with a sequential turn signal, and a rear diffuser. So yeah, the exterior design, I think Ford did a great job, and this is obviously the coupe, which Ford prefers to call the fastback model. You can also get it as a convertible. Convertible is a little bit more money, but man, this fastback design is just fantastic, especially when you look at it from the rear 3/4 view or from the side view. It just harkens back to the Mustangs of the late 60s and the early 70s. It's just a killer look, and I really like it. Also, take a look at those taillights too. They're just so well designed. Now, looking at the front end here, I like the front end design, but I think there's a little too much front overhang here, meaning I think the front end should be a couple inches shorter, so for that the very front of the front bumper is closer to the wheel arch there. I think it would just improve the car's overall dimensions, but that's just me getting a little nitpicky here. Now, this car, like I said, is part of the EcoBoost Performance Package, an extra $2,000. You get these 19-inch ebony black wheels. They're wearing summer tires. The interior also comes with an aluminum instrument panel, gauge pack with oil pressure and boost, and several other things I'll talk about in just a moment. But first, I want to tell you more about this engine. So, the turbocharged 2.3-liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost. Now, this is the same engine but it's tuned a little differently that you find in the Ford Focus RS, that all-wheel drive hatchback. Now, just to give you an idea or to compare some of the power comparisons here, this turbocharged 2.3-liter it produces 310 horsepower, and then the base engine, which is a naturally aspirated 3.7 liter V6 that has 300 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. So yeah, this turbocharged engine is more powerful than the V6. Now, the 5 liter V8, that has 435 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. So that's a completely different ballgame here. And then you have the GT350 and the GT350R with a 5.2 liter flat plane crank V8 with 526 horsepower and 429 pound-feet of kick. So yeah, those two, the GT and the GT350, are for a different type of buyer than the Mustang EcoBoost owners here. And like I was saying, with this interior, you got that EcoBoost performance package here. You'll see it just gives you this the gauge pack with the oil pressure and boost gauge, the aluminum instrument panel, and all this other aluminum trim. It looks just so nice. You have this red line leather for an extra $395. Yeah, these rear seats here. Now, take a look. I have to say, yes, it is a tight squeeze back there for any normal-sized adult, but they were fairly comfortable, the seats, and I was happy to see Ford actually made an effort to make these rear seats at least somewhat comfortable. Point being, an adult can manage to be in there for a very short amount of time, but no long road trips. And I really, really like this red leather interior. I'm just a big fan of red leather seats in general, and I think here combined with a black center console and dash, and that aluminum trim dash right there as well, it's just a fantastic look. Yeah, this chrome accent 4-gauge instrument cluster, aluminum foot pedals, and aluminum finished instrument cluster too that you can see all along the top there. Now, Ford was telling us back when the car first came out that its interior designers submitted two different interior designs. One was very forward, futuristic thinking, and the other one was more retro. And the powers that be at Ford loved both interior designs. They just really couldn't decide which direction they wanted to go in. So the only thing they could do was let's just blend the two and have a futuristic, but also sort of a retro look going. And that's exactly what you see here. Take a look just below this 8-inch touchscreen here. You have like these toggle switches. And I love those boost gauges and the oil pressure monitor as well. It's just it has that classic Mustang look. Even the steering wheel design is pure Mustang. And as you know, the original Mustang premiered way back in mid-year 1964. So you're just seeing all these little design traits here and there that remind us of that iconic car. So here we go, the 8-inch touchscreen with Sync 3. Now, Sync 3, as I mentioned in previous reviews of Ford products, it replaced my Ford Touch. That was just a pretty bad infotainment system, even though Ford developed it fairly well over the years. But Sync 3 is just so much better, and I think it is now one of the best infotainment systems on the market today. Now, the interior, it also comes with 6-way power driver and passenger seats, driver seat with lumbar control, heated and cooled seats, ambient lighting, dual-zone automatic climate control, and a voice-activated navigation system for an extra $795. And this one, because this is actually the premium trim, you have the base and then the premium trim, so this one costs a bit more, but you also get nice things in here, like the Shaker Pro audio system with 12 speakers. And overall, yeah, the controls work very well. I love that blend of, standard buttons plus these toggle type switches right here too. Just it's retro, but it's also very modern looking. So I think Ford nailed it with this interior design. I really don't see how it could have made it any better. All right, so let's talk about a little bit of safety here. Now, this is good. The Mustang here, it earned a 5-star overall U.S. government crash test rating. It also comes standard with, the typical stuff, dual front and side airbags, driver and passenger knee airbags, tire pressure monitoring system, an SOS post-crash alert system, and for an extra $295, reverse park assist. Another thing that this is optional on this car, but I like that it's there, is the blind spot information system with cross-traffic alert. These types of high-tech safety systems, I think they're very smart investments because they really could save your life, no joke. Okay, so this is the 6-speed automatic. Would I prefer there to be a 6-speed manual? Yeah, but I don't think the 6-speed automatic was that bad at all. It shifted fairly smoothly. And speaking of shifting smoothly, how does this drive? Well, I will say this, because this is a turbo engine, there is a slight bit of turbo lag, but really nothing serious. And the automatic transmission, it downshifts quickly, but the power does come eventually, and it's really good once it's there. But what's good is that the EcoBoost Mustangs, they drive similar to the GT models because they have more or less the same basic suspension tuning, and it's just a really nicely tuned suspension. But let's talk performance here. Now, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.2 seconds. It'll do the standing quarter mile in 13.9 seconds at 98 miles per hour. Top speed is electronically limited to 149 miles per hour. Now, just to compare with the Mustang GT V8, that goes from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.3 seconds and does a standing quarter mile in 12.9 seconds at 112 miles per hour. So 0 to 60 in both cars, you're only about a second off. And listen, 5.2 seconds to 60 miles per hour is very, very good. I don't think Mustang EcoBoost buyers, they're necessarily going to go to the drag strip. They just want a fun and relatively fast car to drive, and that's what this car does, and it's pretty fuel efficient. How fuel efficient? 21 miles per gallon in the city, 32 on the highway, and a combined 25. The vehicle weighs just over 3,660 pounds, so it's pretty heavy. But just to compare again to the Mustang GT, that gets 15 miles per gallon in the city and 25 on the highway. So yeah, the EcoBoost Mustang, considering its performance and the really good fuel economy it returns, it's a winning combination. So what's some of the pricing numbers here? Well, a base Mustang V6 with a fastback model begins at $25,185. The EcoBoost fastback, the base EcoBoost model, begins at $26,195. But this is, like I said, the EcoBoost Premium, beginning at $32,390. And our car, with all the extra options plus $900 destination fee, grand total $36,510. Not at all bad. I think you're getting a lot for your money here. For an example, good amount of trunk space. This is a great daily driver, 14 cubic feet of that trunk space. And combined with the 50-50 split folding rear seats, yeah, you can get everything you need in this trunk here. A couple of suitcases, golf bags, not a problem whatsoever. And that's what I really like about these pony cars. You can drive them every single day. Yes, it is rear-wheel drive. It may be a little more difficult in snowy and wintry weather conditions. Simple solution: swap out those summer tires and put on all-season or winter tires instead. Now, what's some of the competition? Well, obviously, you have the Chevrolet Camaro, the Dodge Challenger. Both of those offer V6 and options, but only the Camaro has a turbocharged 4-cylinder option as well. And I would also like to toss this competitor in here as well, bear with me, is the Audi A5. Also, a luxury premium performance coupe. Now, there's the Audi S5, which is more powerful, but I think the Mustang EcoBoost is now a competitor to the Audi A5. I think there could be some people cross-shopping here. Now, the A5 is all-wheel drive, the Audi's Quattro system, but I can see how a couple people could be looking at both cars and be like, well, they're both these premium coupes with, performance spirits to them, and yeah, Ford has really upgraded the Mustang to a near luxury premium car. That's why they call this the premium trim package. And so what do I like here? Well, for starters, this doesn't require premium fuel. And also, more importantly, it's still a Mustang at heart despite the Turbo 4. Now, some V8 purists may disagree, but in my opinion, Ford has still done a solid job of updating the Mustang for a new era. What don't I like? Car's a bit heavy, there's some turbo lag, and it can get a little expensive pretty fast. Now, the other thing I'd be maybe a little concerned about, does a Turbo 4 Mustang represent sort of a slippery slope? Meaning, what could be next? A hybrid Mustang? It's definitely possible. For an example, it's been a long time rumor that Porsche is developing a hybrid 911. So if Porsche is doing that to the 911, I would not be surprised one day to see a hybrid Mustang. It's just how the future is shaping out to be. But we are still retaining these muscle cars in one way or another, just they have to be modified for the times. And just coming up next week, there is going to be a refreshed 2018 Mustang revealed at the Detroit Auto Show, and I hope to bring you more news about that soon. So any more questions for me today, leave them in the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe to CarBuzz Unboxing Reviews, and I'll see you all next time.